welcome back to my channel. So a lot of people have been asking for an update on my skin, and I do think it's about time for an update. The thing about skin is it's hard to give regular updates because skin doesn't heal overnight or in just a week. So a lot of times there's literally nothing to update, but I feel like it's been a while now since I mentioned anything about it. So here we go. I actually did stop getting my treatment a little over a month ago, and that's because I feel like my skin is back to normal. Originally, my doctor told me, well, not my doctor, but the guy who runs the treatment facility. Originally, he told me that it was to get rid of the hyperpigmentation, and that's why I came back and said, okay, what's the point of getting the hyperpigmentation if we're not working on the actual condition? But basically, he just said, just go with it. So I went with it, and come to find out, it's not to get rid of the hyperpigmentation. It's to get rid of the actual condition, help it go into remission basically. But my condition actually went into remission a couple weeks before I even started the treatment. I just started the treatment just so I could just go through the motions. But when it went into remission, I still had a lot of the bumps that were just raised. It just wasn't spreading anymore, which was a plus, but a lot of the bumps, like everywhere, was still raised. So when I started doing the treatment, that's when it started making all of the bumps subside and basically flatten out. So now it's just skin. So where all the bumps were, there's just hyperpigmentation that needs to be cleaned up. So I know a lot of you guys can't see it on camera like that, and maybe it's because I'm kind of like, I'm not all up on my camera and all up in y'all face, but I do still have a lot of the hyperpigmentation in the same places that they were before. It's definitely lightened up a lot because before it was literally black and now it's brown. But I feel like as I was doing the treatment, I was doing the treatment for about 2 months and I was going 3 days a week. But I feel like, of course, I know now that it wasn't supposed to help with hyperpigmentation, which makes sense because you're not supposed to be in the sun and stuff like that when you have dark marks because it's only gonna prolong it. So while I was doing the treatment, I do think that it was prolonging my hyperpigmentation. And since I've been done with the treatment for a month, I feel like now I'm starting to see progress in the discoloration and I'm starting to see it definitely get lighter. So it'll take some more time, but I'll show you guys real quick. It's definitely not gone. You can see it on my wrist, and it's kind of in this area. It's not on the back of my arm as much as it is the inside. And it's with both arms. So it's definitely lightened up, but it's not there yet. It was never like focused on the center of my stomach. It was always like kind of more so on the sides. So that's probably why you guys see me wearing crop tops a lot, because like it's not that bad. My back is still bad, but this is where I scratched. And I scratched myself like later on, like I don't know, maybe I was putting on a shirt. I don't exactly remember it, but I scratched myself, not even hard enough to puncture my skin or anything like that, but you're not supposed to scratch or basically cause, you know, any sort of abrasion or whatever. So when you do that, it makes my white blood cells say, oh my God, something happened, we need to repair. So it makes the lichen planus form on the scratch. But yeah, I mean, that's what an autoimmune disease is. It's when your body mistakenly thinks that another part of your body is a foreign object. So it starts attacking it when it's not supposed to. So it'll just be bump, 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 bump down the scratch. Or like my stitches, it was just like a whole bunch of lichen planus bumps just forming on the stitches. So that's why before, you know, a lot of people say, oh, exfoliate and do this, do that. And a lot of stuff like people don't realize I couldn't do just because it could trigger it. Like when you exfoliate, that's abrasion. So I couldn't exfoliate until it was actually over in remission. But anyway, when I found out that the treatment wasn't supposed to work on the hyperpigmentation, I asked my doctor or the dermatologist, whoever runs the facility, I was like, what are we gonna do for the hyperpigmentation? And he was like, oh, you're just gonna have to wait it out and it'll heal naturally. And I'm like, nah, I ain't got time for this to heal naturally. Like I'm trying to get my skin back ASAP. So of course he's like, oh, well, you know, you could bleach. And I'm like, nah, like that's not an option. No, I'm not bleaching. So he gave me recommendations to a couple like very well-known dermatologists in Chicago, and you know, they will look at the hyperpigmentation and see what they can do. But to be honest, I'm not even really trying to go to the doctors no more. I'm just gonna work on clearing the hyperpigmentation myself. Like I said, I am seeing progress. It's gonna take a long time, just the same way that it would if I was going to the doctors. I've gotten rid of dark spots before, you know, just when you have acne and stuff like that. It's just never been as bad as this. It has spread out. It's never been like on my body, but same concept. So I'll work on it myself. My biggest pet peeve with the doctors, honestly, like people don't realize I went to a lot of doctors. I went to a lot of different doctors. And then when you're from a major city like Chicago, you can't get an appointment like that. In an emergency room, like they'll just put it down as a rash. Like my biggest pet peeve is doctors act as if it's not life-threatening, then it's not a big deal. So honestly, in a way, I feel like they prolonged it. Like I feel like it never had to get bad to this point, but hopefully I never get sick again or never go through nothing like major, because who knows where I would have been, like if it was something wrong with my kidney or my liver or something, you know? So honestly, like when you go through something, I see why there's such a big deal with our healthcare system and what all these people are complaining about, because it's crazy how like, I feel like a lot of times like they let it get bad to the point where there's no saving you. You not even just with my condition, just period. I feel like they let it get bad to the point where there's nothing that you can do. When if you worked on somebody's condition from the beginning, then it might not have ever gotten bad. You could have nipped it in the bud in the beginning. So when you go through something like this, it really opens up your eyes a lot. But I've developed an allergic reaction to like citrusy type fruits like oranges, pineapples, tomatoes. Those foods make it come back. Like you see where all the dark spots are? That's where there were once bumps. You know, the bumps turned into discoloration when they flattened out. If I have something that I'm allergic to, like oranges, pineapples, tomatoes, something citrusy, then all of the dark spots will create bumps again, like they'll start to rise. So there are foods that I once ate every day. I used to eat fruit every single day, especially citrus fruits, and now I can't eat them anymore. But then if I had like ketchup or some orange juice, then I'll be okay. So it's like a raw citrus type thing. It's really weird. And I could also feel a pain, because I told you this did not only affect my body, it also affected my mouth. And it actually might have affected my mouth maybe 2 months before it went into remission. But it was getting so bad to the point where like it was actually starting to pour out onto my lips. So there's a little bit discoloration on my lips. But at the time I was like going through it, because I'm like, oh my God, it's on my lips. Like at first it was when it's in your mouth, nobody can see inside your mouth. But it's when it's on your lip, oh my God. But I'm just so glad that it's finally over, y'all. So the discoloration I'm not even tripping on, because at least I know that it's getting better. And I know a lot of people, I saw a lot of comments saying, oh, it's pityriasis, it's pityriasis. It's not pityriasis. It's actually just its own thing. It's lichen planus, and you can look it up and it's literally its own thing. So I know the formation of the scars look similar, but just as far as the symptoms and everything like that, it's not pityriasis. So as you can see, it's not 100% clear or even 50% clear, but I'm hopeful that by the time the summer comes, I'm hopeful that it'll be faded enough to where it's not blatantly obvious. I think I can get my skin clear in like a year. Like I said, I've only been like actually seeing progress for about a month since I stopped the treatment. But once again, thank you guys so much for your support and your investment into seeing me get better. It really did mean a lot to me, and it really did make this a lot easier to deal with, because I told y'all, now I'm kind of just, I don't care anymore. I'll go to the gym with a t-shirt on, even though my arms are messed up. Like, I'm just over it, you know? Like I said before, you go through shit, you grow through shit. So yeah, I'm just basically looking at this as an experience and an unfortunate way to help other people out there that are going through the same thing. So hopefully when I get my skin back clear, and I'm confident that I'll get my skin back clear, but hopefully when I get it back clear, just me documenting how I got my skin back clear, we'll be able to help other people out there, especially when you have it all over your body and not just targeted in one certain area. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in another video.